You ever notice how people say rain can wash away anything, but sometimes it just soaks you to the bone, makes you feel everything heavier like it's pressing on your skin, your soul, your whole damn life? That's how I felt the day it all started for me 3 days of nonstop rain. And there I was, forehead pressed to my bedroom window, watching those little rivers snake down the glass, every drop drumming out memories I wish I could forget. Childhood storms used to mean safety dad's arms, laughter, warmth. But now I was a stranger in my own home, playing the part of the dutiful daughter, hiding a scar beneath my makeup and 1,000 more behind my eyes. My mom called from the hallway, "Jesse, are you ready?" "He's here." That was my cue. I glanced at the mirror. Hair braided, dress borrowed, face set, the uniform I wore for years boxed up and tucked away. All anyone knew was I worked for the government in some boring record job. The truth that I was an Army officer coming off a mission gone bad was locked down tight, a secret just for me and my parents. The doorbell rang, and I could feel my mom's excitement from across the house. She opened the door, and there he was, Michael. Tall, crisp, eyes always searching. He smiled, handed over flowers, did the small talk thing so well it made my skin itch. My mom ushered us into the living room, the TV humming quietly, the air thick with forced politeness. Michael leaned in, just enough to show he was interested, but not so much that it was obvious. "It's good to see you, Jessica. May I call you Jessica?" That's how he was. Everything perfectly rehearsed, every gesture for show. We made it through that first night with awkward laughter and the kind of questions that aren't really questions. Michael talking about control and success and tradition, never once asking me what I wanted. My mom lapped it up, her eyes shining, my dad giving me that look, the one that says you don't have to go along with this if you don't want to. But I nodded, I smiled, I played the game. That's what they expected. That's what everyone wanted. What nobody saw was how I texted my old commander that night. "All good. Family's pushing marriage. I'll manage." That's what I always said I'll manage like. It was some badge of honor to swallow myself for other people's peace. The dates came and went. Michael's charm wearing thin fast. He liked to talk about himself, order my dinner, joke about how I was quiet, like that was some kind of virtue. At first, I shrugged it off, told myself it was nothing, just nerves. But he'd get sharper, more pointed, making cracks about how safe and easy my little desk job must be, how women these days don't respect tradition. "I like you, Jessica. You're different, quiet, reserved. Rare." I couldn't tell if it was a compliment or a warning. Soon he was calling every day, showing up unannounced, bringing his mother over, a woman who could curdle milk with a look. "Mrs. Bennett wanted to know about my cooking, my plans for kids, my willingness to obey." She never said it outright, but the message was clear. A good wife is quiet. She respects her husband's wishes. She doesn't cause trouble. I just smiled and nodded, thinking how I could lead a squad through jungle raids, but here I was being quizzed about pot roast. Michael started getting possessive, checking up on me, frowning when I left the house alone, insisting I call him before I went anywhere. He set rules. Text when you arrive. Don't spend too much at the market. Don't embarrass me in front of my family. When I pushed back, he'd say it was just because he cared, because the world wasn't safe. But I knew control when I saw it. I'd seen it in officers, in enemies, in myself. It was always about power. The wedding happened fast. Mom planned everything. Michael called every day to remind me how lucky I was, how happy I'd be. On the day itself, I stared at myself in the mirror, veil pinned, dressed perfect, and tried to find a girl everyone else seemed to see. But all I saw was the soldier underneath, the one who'd survived worse than this. Marriage didn't make things better. If anything, it made Michael bolder. He started with little things, the way I folded his shirts, the way I lined up my shoes, the soup being too salty. Every Friday, Mrs. Bennett would show up to point out my mistakes, muttering that a good wife learns quickly, that someone else would do better. Michael backed her up, never raising his voice, but always reminding me I could do better, be better. At night, he'd roll over, grab my arm, pull me close whether I wanted it or not. I'd stare at the ceiling, remembering drills and night raids, telling myself patience was a virtue, that I could outlast this. But patience only stretches so far. One night, After another round of insult from his mother, Michael turned on me. "What did you say to her?" he demanded, his face tight with suspicion. "Nothing," I said, calm, practiced. He called me a liar, stepped closer, waited for me to flinch. I didn't. He turned away, but I knew what was coming. The days blurred, Michael getting angrier over smaller things, burnt toast, wrinkled shirts, my silence. He'd shout, slam his fist, sometimes throw things. Always followed by flowers, gifts, apologies that felt more like warnings. The first time he hit me, it wasn't a slap so much as a lesson. At least that's what Mrs. Bennett said the next day. If you were a real wife, he wouldn't need to teach you. I held the ice pack to my cheek that night, staring at the ceiling, one tear falling because I wouldn't give him more. Michael pretended nothing happened, but something in me changed. I started reaching out Elisa from my old squad to my own strength. I sent messages in code. Check in. Might need backup soon. They replied, instantly standing by, Sarge. From then on, everything was just waiting, watching Michael, him watching me, both of us knowing a storm was coming. Michael grew suspicious, paranoid. He started questioning everything, glancing at my phone, accusing me of cheating, of plotting. I stopped pretending. I started training in the mornings again, moving through push-ups and squats, reminding myself who I was. One night, Michael tried to grab me, but I twisted out of his grip, stared him down. "Don't ever touch me like that again." For the first time, I saw fear in his eyes, not just anger. His family noticed the shift. Mrs. Bennett hissed that I was getting bold. "If he's so unhappy, he can leave," I said, "Come as you please." She stormed off, furious. Michael tried to buy me off with gifts, but I didn't smile anymore. I sent another message to Lisa. "Situation worsening. Stand by." She replied, "We're here. Just say the word." And then the breaking point in her with the whole family. Michael snapped, slammed his glass, shouted accusations. "You think you're clever? You think you can make me look like a fool?" He lunged, tried to grab me. But this time, I didn't hold back. One move, years of training boiled down to instinct. I pinned him, face down on the floor, right there in front of everyone. "If you ever put your hands on me or any woman again, I promise this is nothing compared to what you deserve." The whole room froze. Mrs. Bennett shrieking, Daniel stunned, Michael humiliated. And then, like a scene out of a movie, the front door opened. 2 Army officers stepped in, me parents just behind them, proud and silent. The officers read the charges: domestic violence, assault, aiding and abetting. Michael tried to run, but he didn't get far. Mrs. Bennett was questioned. Neighbors crowded at the door, whispering. For the first time, they saw Bennett as some quiet housewife, but as Major Jessica Rivers, Nigerian Army, 10 years service, leader, survivor. I looked at Michael, broken and shaking. You never really knew who I was. My squad had my back. My family finally saw the real me. I faced the neighbors, the whole community, and said, "Let this be a lesson. Women's strength isn't always loud, but it's real and it's enough. You never know the lion by its fur alone." Now, here's what I want to know from you. What's justice? Really, in a world where everyone turns a blind eye until it's too late? Was I wrong to wait so long, to play along, to let things get this far? Or is it sometimes better to fight on your own terms, in your own way? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about where the line really is between endurance and standing up, between family and justice, between being quiet and being heard. You know what I mean?